Hello, hello. Welcome to the Monday Night Dream Team Zoom. Before we dive into our topic of tonight, I do want to make sure that any of you that wanted to be part of the Soar to Four, which is the group being led by a lot of different 200Ks and our very own Samantha Cox. If you haven't ever hit 4K, haven't ever hit 12K, or you need to reclaim 4K or 12K, this group is for you. I have joined the group as Tom because Tom needs to hit 12K and I can use all the support and ideas that I can get. So keep that in mind. There is a link. Actually, at this point, I think if you want to join, you just need to let me know because then I can add you to the group. Tonight at 9:15 Eastern is a Zoom, kind of like the kickoff Zoom. I think they're going to lay out, expectations and all that stuff. So if you want to be a part of that, or you have anyone on your team that needs to, okay, Court, that needs to be a part of that, gotta let them know. Like by 9:15 tonight. Now here's the kicker. They don't want people just to join because there's so many people who are gonna be like, oh, I want to do it, and then not do anything. And that's not at all what they want. So if you have people who are wishy-washy, like they need to know this is the real deal. They're either gonna be in that group and they're gonna do all of that. Okay, gotcha, Lisa. I did see your paperwork come through. Okay. So that's tonight at 9:15. Gosh, there was something else I wanted to say. Now I kind of blanked on it because I was writing stuff down. It might come to me. I don't know. But I am recording this one because this is a topic. Oh, Sam said, Lisa, I did add you. So maybe you just have to look for the invite in Facebook. Sometimes Facebook's been really weird lately. At least on my end. I actually took it off my phone and reinstalled it because it was acting so weird and it's still acting weird. So I don't know if it's just me, full moon, who knows. I am recording this one tonight because it's a super important topic. And like I was just saying, the faces that are on here probably aren't the ones that need to learn about it, but we're going to do it anyway because we're recording it and I want you guys to know. I originally said waiting rooms and red legs. I'm going to start with red legs, and depending on how long this goes, we may or may not get into waiting rooms because that really could be its own separate thing. They work together so well, as you guys know. So I'm going to try to screen share, but I don't know. Where'd that button go? I know how to do it on my other one. Oh, screen share. It's green. It's a bright green button, and I still didn't figure it out. Okay, screen share. But I want it to be this one. Okay. So what you're seeing here, this is the rewards plan that we all have access to. This is in the back of your cloud office. Thumbs up, Lisa. Can you see this? Do you see? Okay, thank you. All right. I just want to make sure before I start talking. So first of all, let's talk about what a red leg is. When you add promoters to your team, each promoter you add represents a leg of your team. Well, imagine having 5 legs, but one does all the volume. That's a red leg. Any leg on your team that does more than 60% of your overall volume is what they call a red leg. This is because they don't want you to sign up a bunch of people and then just sit back and do nothing and milk off of these people. Like, wouldn't we all love to sign up somebody today and they're just like a firecracker and they go 200K, so you want to go 200K? That's not how it works. If you want to go 200K, you have to have enough business spread out evenly that you can hit 200K and sustain it, not just sign up Maria Dillard and she hits 200K and then you just float the rest of the time. That's not how this works. So where you want to be looking when people ask, or you need to know, and you guys, by the way, I'm doing this for 6 years now, and I still, when it's waiting room time and it's time to go over people's ranks, I still have to pull this up and look at it. There's no shame in the game of needing to have these numbers in front of you to answer questions correctly because it can get very confusing. So you need to look where it says unilevel team commissions right here where I'm moving my mouse, okay? You've got your minimum PV, which we all know that's $100, right? That's your personal volume that you have to sell yourself or purchase yourself to be active. You've got to have a minimum of active legs. You have to have a minimum QV. So obviously, if you want to hit 4K, you've got to have $4,000 in volume, right? But then you have this maximum strong leg. What they're saying here is how big can one leg get without it being a red leg for you? So the easiest one I think to look at is the 4K because there's just 2 legs. So that makes it a little easier to think about. Now, remember, rank and qualification volume comes from your sponsorship leg. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Ignore what I just said. It comes from your placement leg or your placement volume. So in other words, when you are trying to hit 4K, you can either do that with just the people you brought into your team yourself, or maybe your upline has taken somebody and put them under you. That's the waiting room conversation. That's what they call place. So if they place someone under you, that volume counts. So when you're looking at this 4K, you have to have $100 in PV. You have to have 2 active legs. Those don't have to be people that you brought into the business. That's your placement. Now, I will tell you, you need to bring in people. You need to have your own business. You need to have your own promoters. And then you plus those 2 have to have at least $4,000 in volume. And here's where we're going to talk about the red leg. If one of those people on your team out of $4,000 has more than 2,400, if they are bigger than that maximum leg, they are your red leg. Does that make sense? Do you understand what a red leg is? It's somebody who brings in more than 60% of your overall total QV. Okay, and so then you just follow along. When someone wants to hit 12K, they've got to have 2. And one person can't do more than $7,200. You got 40K, one person can't do more than $24,000, so on and so forth. And for me, my screen, let me move this over here. There we go. All the way up to 200K. So this is all the information you really need. This is what people are like, oh, I don't know, what this means or not. Shoot, and I did a screenshot and I should have, in your cloud, or it may not be your cloud, but maybe someone on your team. If you're looking in the cloud, like it can be misleading because maybe you're looking at just your team and you're looking at volume and you're like, oh my gosh, this girl is about to hit 4K. And you're like, holy crap, this is so exciting. I'm about to have a 4K on my team. Well, you're just looking at her volume. You need to actually dig and look. Where is that volume coming from? Does she have somebody on her team that's doing more than the $2,400? Here's where, to me, it gets confusing. Let's say somebody is maybe close to $6,000. So you would assume they're 4K, right? No, because somebody's doing more than the 24. But at that point, you've broke past the 4,000 mark. So that's where you have to, you can either sit and do the 60%, or what I do is say, hey, send me a screenshot of your business dashboard. And I have a screenshot here. I don't know if I'll be able to, I should have thought and put this on my computer. I'm sorry. But basically, you don't even have to know what you're doing. The screenshot will tell a person what their actual current QV is, so what their total volume is. Below it, it will say paid rank. So let's say this person has said paid rank 40K, and it only shows next to it $31,000. So you're like, so wait, so they've not actually hit 40K yet because they only have $31,000. I should have thought this through and put, I'm sorry. Anyway, so right below that, it says excess strong leg, and it says how big that strong leg is. Now, here's the kicker. It doesn't really matter how much excess that leg has. It's already telling this person, if you want to hit 40K, you're only at $31,000. So you can ignore that. You don't need to focus so much on how much volume the red leg has. You need to focus on the difference between your paid rank that you're wanting to hit and what the actual volume is. So in this case, this person has $56,000 total, but only 31 of that counts towards their 40K because they have an excess and they have a leg on their team that's doing 25. So you don't even have to do all this math all the time. You just have to say, okay, send me a screenshot of your business snapshot. And you guys know we're in the business snapshot all the time. It's where we go to get our rate of run. It's where you can go and you can find the green, red, and gray, like the PPA reports. That's what you want. It says right there. That's all the information you need. So when someone says to me, so-and-so is getting ready to hit 4K. I'm like, you know what? Have them send us a picture of their business snapshot, because it may clearly show that they are about to hit 4K. And then we can celebrate and we can say, you know what? You're just shy of $800, but everything looks good. Or I could be like, you're not actually about to hit 4K because you only have one active leg, and that one active leg is $3,600. So you've got to add another promoter and you've got to make up the difference in the money. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have to keep an eye on what's happening. Is I think, we all get excited with rank advancements. I get it is exciting. People start looking at just quantity instead of like the whole thing. And they're like, oh yeah, the volume's there, they're about to hit a rank. No, you have to meet these qualifications. You have a minimum number of active legs that you have to meet. You have a maximum percentage that someone can't be. And like I said, when it's not 4K exactly, not 12K exactly, maybe they're in the $8,000 range, it's just easier to look at the business snapshot. It'll tell you exactly how far they are away from their goal. So I have this form right here that we're looking at. I have that saved on my phone as a photo. Obviously, I have screenshot it and sent it to a million people. Pretty much anytime someone says anything like, how much money do I make, or how do we get paid, or how do I know if I'm at a rank, this is what I send them. This is in everyone's cloud. Everyone needs to learn this. If you don't know it like the back of your hand, that's okay. Just know how to get to it so that you can help answer these questions. And honestly, the first few years as a promoter, I would just, I don't know, I was just happy I got a paycheck. And so then finally one day I was like, maybe I should like look at the paycheck and the whole report part that goes with it and kind of see what that means. And I still, to this day, get very confused. The only thing I truly know cut and dry is when we get paid on promoter packs. That's really all I know cut and dry. But I can tell someone how close or far away they are from a rank. And again, you don't even have to do the math. If it's someone on your downline, because that's the thing, you guys, you can't see that. The only person that can see that business dashboard is the person who owns that dashboard. So if someone is shooting for a rank and you're working with them, have them send you a screenshot of that so you know exactly what you're looking at, because it says right on the that dashboard. Let me pull that picture back up. Right on the dashboard, it says this person has 4 active legs. So this person has plenty of active legs. As you see over here, they only need 4 to hit the 40K. They've got the 4. They are just missing $9,000 in volume. Even though it shows that they have $56,000, they are missing $9,000 to actually hit 40K. Again, you don't have to be a math wizard though. You just have them pull up the business snapshot. So why this connects to waiting room, let me, I wonder if I can go down to waiting room. Don't watch my screen because I'm scrolling really fast. That might make you sick, sorry. Blah, blah, blah. There's the cars, there's the trips, aha, waiting room. Okay, again, this information that I'm showing you is in your cloud. When people ask questions, it is in the cloud. We have a unique system called the waiting room, which allows us to basically, as we bring in our new promoters, people that we actually sponsor in, that we sign up, we put them in this imaginary little room. If they're in there for 60 days, and we can let them marinate and we can see what happens. It's almost like, I don't know, buying different kinds of fruit and seeing which one ripens first, right? So we're going to put them in that little room. We're going to keep an eye on them. And while they're doing all their marinating in the waiting room, we still have other active legs that we've had for a while. So for this example, in our waiting room right now, we have John, Tom, and Lori. Okay, there are new people. They're within their first 60 days. They're in the waiting room. So anything they're doing volume-wise, it would be next to their name. People we already had on our team before these 3 signed up are Stacy, Chris, and Tracy. Okay, so Stacy already has started a team of her own. She's got Adam and Zach. Chris has started a team with Dawn. Tracy doesn't have anybody yet. So some people would be like, well, I'm just going to keep all 6 of these. All 6 are going to be my level 1s. No, don't do that. You're going to have $5 here, $100 here, $5 there. You are better off to take them and move them around to build your core team. So if you're like, well, I'm screwed, I've got 18 level 1s, it's okay. We're just going to start fresh today. Okay. You don't want to have a wide team. You want to have a deep team. You only want to go so deep though. That's a whole other conversation. So anyway, so in this case, we can move Lori under Adam, which is going to bump. So let's say Lori has $10 in volume. When I bring Lori from the waiting room and I put her under Adam, it's going to add $10 to Adam's volume, and it's going to add $10 to Stacy's volume, right? The volume was already under me because she's mine. I'm just going to share that volume. Let's say Tom had 50, and I'm going to move Tom over here to Dawn. Dawn now has 50 extra bucks in her volume, and Chris also has 50 extra dollars in his volume. And then I've got John, who I'm going to take over here to Tracy. John, maybe he's got $1,000, and I just bumped Tracy up. Like you'll have to play with the math in the moment. Now, why do you pick who you're going to move them under? Well, let's say Stacy, my level 1, is doing awesome. She's got this Adam and this Zach started. You can see here, Zach, we didn't move anybody under Zach. So Zach's probably doing okay all on his own. This Adam guy might be just a few $100 away from hitting 4K. So let's say Adam needs $400 to hit 4K, and this Lori girl has $500 in volume under her. When I move Lori under Adam, what just happens? Adam just hit 4K. You can help people hit ranks. Now, let's pretend that Stacy, because she's got the bigger team here, let's pretend Stacy is more than 60% of my overall volume. Is it smart for me to move Lori over here? Depends. It will help someone on your team hit 4K, which could be something awesome. And those are the moments where you have to think about that. You don't ever really want to add to your red leg. But sometimes I will tell you, as leaders, sometimes we just do it anyway to help people hit goals. I don't advise doing that all the time. This is why when it comes to waiting room, you need to, like, more heads are better than one. You always want to talk to your upline, and maybe your upline's upline, and like sit down and get together and really start to figure this stuff out, because anytime you can take these are your 3 best friends, like, right? This was your 3 best friends signed on with you 4 years ago. And these are new people you've met along the way. Doesn't mean you don't love them, right? But you can use that new relationship to build up your besties. You can keep building these people up. Now, real quick, and this might be more information than anybody needs, we're going to scroll really fast again. I want you to notice up here, when you hit 200K, you only get paid down to your level 8. Okay? So 80K and 200K, you only get paid down to your level 8. So if you go back to that waiting room example, if you start moving people, if I'm like, oh, I'm going to move Lori under Adam, and I'm going to move Tom under her, and John under them, and I'm going to make this big, long leg, you're eventually going to reach a point where you are moving your volume to someone so deep in your line that you won't even get paid on it. So again, that's why when it comes to waiting room time, you need to sit down and think about stuff. You guys, when it's time for people, when people are like, what should I do with waiting room? I basically draw stuff like this on a sheet of paper. I put names, I draw arrows, I have numbers. Like, I don't know, let's add them up. If we move Lori here, what happens? Well, what if we don't move her there? We move her under Zach, what happens? Like, you've got to play with the scenarios. Because in the moment, you have the ability to either maybe offset your red leg or accidentally create a red leg. And we don't want red legs because that keeps us from ranking up, right? So that's why it's really, really important to have these conversations. And again, nobody expects you to remember all of this. It's literally in your cloud. It's literally right here in the back of your cloud. So again, the waiting room, you have 60 days to move these people. I tend to try to move them in the first 30, because let's say that this John guy signs on, hits his VIP, hits his 4K bonus, like he's hit 4K in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden John drops off the face of the earth next month. I wanted to move John while he had volume. I don't want to wait until next month when maybe John's like piddling around. That's, again, just me. Someone else may tell you something different. You may have a different feeling, but I will also tell you there are going to be times, and this has happened several times to me in the last 6 years. This girl, Lori, she came in, she didn't do anything. She bought her some Thrive. She loves it. She won't tell anybody about it. You know, like, she's not doing anything. I still don't want to leave her as my level 1. I am still going to just make a jump. I'm going to move her someplace. And you guys, I'm telling you, more than not, 6 weeks, 6 months later, all of a sudden Lori's a 12K. And here we moved her under this kid, and this kid, Adam's like, holy crap, I got a 12K on my team. I didn't even know. So there's a beauty to the waiting room. There's also, it's like a mysterious, I don't know, like you never know for sure what's going to happen. So in the moment when you're moving for waiting room and red legs, you can handle it. Like you're in control of it. After that, you don't know what someone's going to do for sure. So that's why you have the next month to then move people from your waiting room to try to help with red legs. So the key to this is to always have something in your waiting room to move. Always. That's all there is to it. You always have, that's why you always have to keep building. Like there's not a single promoter who is successful that does not constantly keep adding to their waiting room. Even if it's, sometimes it's the person who, like I said, is going to be gung-ho and then they disappear, but that's okay. At least one time I got to move them and somebody got a little volume off of that. You never, ever know. So again, don't leave a ton of people as your level ones. Placement, I'm talking placement. Go sponsor a bunch of level ones, but don't leave them placement-wise as level ones. You want to start getting your placement line really, really small. Like, let me think real quick if I can see it on my phone, how different my, let me get logged in here. How different my placement line is from my sponsorship line. When I go into my sponsorship downline, that first, level one pop-up or whatever, there's like 4 pages of level ones that I've sponsored in. When I go back and I look at my placement downline, 1, 2, 3, I have 4 legs. That's it. So aside from the 4 people that I kept as like my Stacy Chris is this group, everyone else has been placed. And that's what you want to do. Now, that doesn't mean those 4 legs are always balanced. They're not. Like I have to move stuff around as I get it in to try to balance stuff out. But I don't have a ton of level ones to try to keep track of in my placement line. And placement is how your rank is done. So it's very important to pay attention to your placement as well as your sponsorship. To me, sponsorship is I'm building, I'm building, I'm building, I'm adding, I'm building, I'm adding, I'm building. Placement is I'm strategically creating a business. So there's a big difference there. And again, it's not something that everyone's going to get on the very first time. And this, there's questions, I couldn't see them. Waiting room volume is such a gift. Yes. You still get paid off that placement volume. Yeah. Oh, excellent point, Courtney. So even if somebody moves volume over and eventually it becomes like your red leg, you're still getting paid. Now, granted, you may only be getting paid at, say, the 40K or the picture or the example I went off, that person is shooting for 40K. They're not there yet because they're red leg, but they're still getting paid as a 12K on that volume. It's not like that volume doesn't do anything for them. They still get paid on that. Sandra says, I have way too many legs because of stupidity on my part in the first 6 months. Well, I mean, that falls back on me and any other upline you've had too. Like we just all, it's funny because I only have the 4 legs. It's not because I'm a genius by any means. It's because originally I just had 2 people that I just fed everything to. And then I realized
because we were all so new, we were ignorance on fire.
Say ignorance on fire. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we were just all so new that we were all learning together. And then once you look at it 6 months to a year later, you're like, oh.
Yeah. So here's my thing. When I first started, and Laura's on here, she's one of them. Laura and my sister were the first 2 level 1 sponsored promoters that I had that were going to hit 12K. They weren't quite there yet, but they were going to. So I took everything I had and I divvied it out, which seemed like a good idea at the time. And I had 2 really strong legs, but you still need a 3rd and a 4th. You still need to, so as I've gotten smarter over the time, I've added the 3rd and the 4th level 1 sponsorship. But honestly, you really don't want too many more than that. Once you once you were able to say, oh, okay, so under Laura, I've got 9 legs or 8 legs, whatever it was I just told you get paid down to, then I want to make sure I'm starting a whole new leg. Like I don't want to keep moving my volume so far deep that I'm not getting paid on it. And here's the tricky thing too, to keep in mind. I probably should go back to that thing. Maybe not, I don't know. So let's say that I moved Sandra under Laura. Okay. But then, no, that's not a good example. How does that work? I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. just don't move anybody below a level 4. I will say that when you're in your placement, don't move anybody below a level 4. Because it's tempting, and that's what I did early on. Like I would move somebody seven levels down because it was going to bump everybody up in between. They didn't pan out very well, but anyway, it's okay. Like live and learn, right? Okay.
But I think we've all done that. And so, like you said, live and learn.
Yeah.
I mean, like when we were in Mexico last week, we were asking Lindsay, where do we fall? I'm like number 19 or 20 under Lindsay. Lindsay doesn't get a dime off of me.
Not a penny. Lindsay and Susan, even Brittany, none of them make money off of us. We are so far down in their line. And we have a very large list of non-active uplines that do stay active PV wise. So it's not even like we're rolling up to them, but that's true leadership, you guys. They still reach down and help us. They still pour into us. They still tell us everything they can. They're so awesome to us. I mean, I had a couple of people ask me in the pool, like, oh, who's your upline? I'm like, Lindsay and Susan. I don't know. I don't, like, well, who, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't even know the names of the people who are missing, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even know if there's a bunch of them, but it doesn't matter. So that's why when people like complain about their upline, I don't care. I don't care if you have to go up 20 levels to find someone that you can relate to and that you can connect with. Do it. It's your business. Do what's best for you. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. So red legs, we know what that means. It's more than 60% of your volume. If we're not sure if we have a red leg or not, we just pull up the business snapshot and it clearly tells us, right? Right. To avoid creating red legs or to help offset red legs, we are constantly adding new promoters who within their first 60 days, although for me, I always do it in the first 30, we can move them from the waiting room to a different leg. And that is something that we don't do alone. I don't do mine alone. So you guys, I still have a second set of eyes look at them. It's just, especially when it's in the end of the month and you're frazzled and frantic, it's just better to have someone look at it. I will tell you, when it comes to waiting rooms, don't wait until the last 2 days. Tomorrow is the halfway point. Like, start paying attention to what's going on in your cloud office from here till the end of the month. Who am I adding? Who am I signing up? Who has placed orders? Do I have any volume in my waiting room? And start paying attention to that. And by the 20th, for sure, after that 25th auto ship, you need to start coming up with a plan for your waiting room with your upline. Don't wait till the last minute. So does anybody have any questions? I know this was a lot. I was hoping the screen share would help. I don't know if it did or not. And again, like I said, all of these faces I'm looking at don't even need this conversation.
Hey, I do have a quick comment.
Yes.
I don't know. I heard this for the first time when I was in Texas. So I feel like if I didn't know this, maybe a lot of other people don't know this. And I could be completely wrong or misinformed, but someone had said that whatever the last digit of your promoter number is what time your waiting room closes.
Yes.
So not everybody's waiting room is open until 11:59 at night.
Correct. That is something they had to change probably 3 years ago or more, because we kept crashing the cloud, and that was that many years ago. So imagine how many more promoters are on. So yeah, so you never, ever, ever want to wait till the last minute. I don't even like to wait till the actual last day, unless there's a case every now and then where someone's, like we were all there. We were all there at Thrive-Palooza in the corners trying to get these things at the last minute. So that's a different situation. But even that, people's waiting rooms might have closed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and mine is at 8 stinking a.m. Yeah. Wow. You got to be early. So just always do yours the day ahead. Yeah. Courtney, you were there, I think, when I called Olivia, and I was like, what time does your waiting room close? And we had like 10 minutes. And that's when I was like, well, I need your login information, because I forget where she was at, but I was like, we have to do this right here and right now. Like, we were moving people in the waiting room. So yeah, you have to know when your waiting room closes. Thank you. That's an incredibly good point. Okay. Anything else? This is probably something we should go over again and again and again. And maybe every time I present it, maybe I'll get a little better at it. But to me, I think the thing to take away from this is that all of the answers are in your cloud. It's just a matter of sitting down and spending time with it. And it's not easy. I mean, for me and my brain, it's not easy, but you have to do it. Like, That's just how you got to do it. If you want to break ranks and you want to help people break ranks, you have to know how the heck to even break a rank. Like I said, people are encouraging people, oh, you're going to break this rank, you're going to do that. And the person's nowhere close because they are red legged out the yin yang and they don't even have the right number of promoters. So instead of giving the wrong information, just take your excitement, go to your upline and be like, I think this person's getting ready to break a rank, but will you help me figure this out for sure? And like I said, I'm just going to say, send me a screenshot of their business dashboard and we'll know right then and there where they are for sure. So anyway, that's my story for tonight. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys on the SOAR to 4, that's a mouthful, Zoom at 9:15 Eastern. And that's it. All right, I'll put this on the YouTube. Bye.